What's going on, MLS fans? My name is Oscar Moneyball, and in this video we'll be discussing Match Day 20. We have 14 matches to go over. The first one's being kicked off on Friday between New York City and Columbus Crew. Let's make sure we transition over correctly. We're back. We're making changes. Like I mentioned, we'll be making a lot of changes to the layout of the video. Hopefully it's a little bit more attractive for everybody to see and a lot more engaging. Be customizing it more and more as the videos go on, especially taking time this summer to improve the match simulator that we have here. Looking forward to this weekend as well. It's going to be a busy weekend. There's a lot of parties that we got invited to. I'm sure a lot of people have summer activities going on, and the MLS is back. Today we also have the Euros kicking off. It's just a great week and weekend overall. All right, so the first match between New York City and Columbus Crew. Expected goals based off our match simulator results is New York City 1.4, Columbus Crew 1.2. New York City did just beat San Jose and killed them at home. Now, Columbus Crew ain't no San Jose Earthquakes, so this could be a way different game. The San Jose Earthquakes were able to cause some damage on the road. They're probably one of the best attacking strength in the Western Conference based off my team strength model, even though they're really, really bad. This season, weigh that with Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew did just lose the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. They looked horrible. However, they were a threat to Pachuca. This game, definitely both teams to score. Columbus Crew has had some time to kind of reset their system and move forward. Now, I'm not too sure how these European competitions and the Copa America affect these teams. I'm not sure if they have any players in playing for their countries this summer. However, I think this is a both teams to score. Win probability is in favor for New York City, 41% to 33% for Columbus Crew. Expected points shows us that New York City will be a little bit more on the offense. Expected points is 1.6 out of the 3 points possible, and 1 point out of the 3 points possible for Columbus Crew. What this tells me, again, this is a new stat that I'm showing on these videos. What this tells me is that New York City will be a little bit more on the offensive side, creating more chances, and will create a little bit more of a XG differential to the plus in their favor, and Columbus Crew will not create as many chances. The both teams to score is at a 53% here. It's a little bit of a coin toss, could go either way, but again, I think Columbus Crew has the power, has the attacking strength to cause something in this game, and New York City at home is just New York City at home. Not much to say there. Match number 2 is Atlanta United FC hosting Houston Dynamo FC. Expected goals for this match 1.6 versus 1.1. Win probability is in favor for Atlanta United. Again, I know Atlanta United has had a really, really tough season. However, their home form is really, really remarkable, which is why this simulator is giving Atlanta that 48% win probability versus the 27% for Houston Dynamo. Expected points tells us that this will be a very even game. Expected points for Atlanta United is 1.4 out of the 3 points possible, and 1.3 for Houston out of the 3 points possible. Another 53% for both teams to score for this one. Match number 3. Montreal hosting Real Salt Lake. If you saw some of my previous videos, I predicted that Real Salt Lake will be representing the Western Conference in this MLS final this season. I think they're one of the best teams in the Western Conference, and I don't think there's any other team other than LAFC that is able to compete with this team. We are seeing a little bit of a regression in the Galaxy form, so The most consistent team from the beginning of the season till now is Real Salt Lake, and consistency is the name of the game. They have a really good home form, a really good away form. Both attacking and defensive strengths are remarkable. So they are expected to win this game. 2.1 expected goals for Real Salt Lake versus 1.5 for Montreal. The win probability, although we have a slight edge for Montreal with 28% versus 27% for Real Salt Lake, expected points tells us a different story. This tells us that Real Salt Lake will be on the offensive, will be again creating a bigger deficit in the expected goal differential, creating more XG than what they receive and concede. Montreal is an interesting team, and they're sort of building towards the future. The match simulator here says both teams to score at a high 64%. We move on forward to match number 4 between Charlotte FC versus DC United. Expected goals for Charlotte is 1.2 versus 1.0 for DC United. Win probability 41% for Charlotte, 30% for DC United. Expected goals tells us that Charlotte will be in control of this match. They will be going on the offensive. 1.8 expected points out of the 3 points possible versus 1 point for DC United out of the 3 points possible. Both teams to score is at 43%. So this could be a Charlotte 1-0, a Charlotte 2-0 game, or 0-0, and Charlotte's just a better team overall. Both teams to score doesn't look very favorable there. Match number 5, New England Revolution, that surprised us all last week, versus Vancouver Whitecaps. Expected goals for New England Revolution is 0.7 versus 1.5 for Vancouver. Vancouver is expected to win 58% versus 17% for New England Revolution. Expected points tells us here that Vancouver will just dominate over New England Revolution. Expected points is 0.8 for New England Revolution out of the 3 points possible in dispute, and Vancouver will take 2.2 expected points out of the 3 points possible. Both teams to score, very low, 35%. This could be a 2-0 game for Vancouver, 3-0, 1-0. Both teams to score, not so likely. Match 6, we have New York Red Bulls hosting Nashville Soccer Club. Expected goals 1.9 for New York Red Bulls, which is one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference besides Inter Miami. New York Red Bulls being a little bit more consistent in their home and away form. Nashville is expected to score 0.5 goals. The win probability is in favor for New York Red Bulls, 70% to 9% for Nashville. Now, there's a huge discrepancy in this one. Not so much in the New England Revolution game, but this is telling us that New York Red Bulls will just destroy this game, be in total control of this match. The expected points tells us the same, 2.4 expected points out of the 3 points possible, and 0.5 for Nashville out of the 3 points possible. Now, in my experience with my match simulator, is that this could either be a huge blowout for New York Red Bulls, or Nashville could be the underdog and just completely ruin a lot of bets this weekend. That'd be an interesting game to watch, just to see what the final result is, or at least a game to keep an eye on. But New York Red Bulls are supposed to be dominating this game. Again, mentioned that they would be one of the teams to be in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Both teams to score is at 32%. Match 7, Orlando City hosting the on-fire LAFC. They've been in incredible form lately. Yes, they did lose to Atlanta United maybe about 2-3 weeks ago. However, take away that match and they've just been blowing through their opponents every single game. Orlando City, not that strong of a team, been struggling this season, but they do have some interesting players. Expected goals 1.0 for Orlando, 1.1 for LAFC, 32% win probability for Orlando, 37% win probability for LAFC. Expected points says that this isn't as even as of a game as we think it is. However, it's soccer, anything could happen. Expected points, 1 point out of 3 points possible for Orlando, 1.5 for LAFC out of the 3 points possible. Both teams to score 40%. We're seeing this trend of these games, about 4 games back to back with the very low probability of both teams to score. Match number 8, and we're back to a high probability of both teams to score with 62%. We have Philadelphia Union hosting Inter Miami, an Inter Miami squad with no Messi. However, the previous games, I think they've been trying to eliminate that Messi dependency and keeping him on the bench or not lining him up to play that weekend. They've been able to get some positive results. They still have Suarez, they still have Busquets, they still have Jordi Alba, Campagna, a lot of great players. Philadelphia Union's squad that seems to score a lot of goals, but is very leaky in the back. They also concede a lot. This definitely looks like a both teams to score. 1.5 expected goals for Philadelphia Union, 2.1 expected goals for Inter Miami. Inter Miami's win probability is 46% versus 30% for Philadelphia Union. Expected points, 1 point for Philadelphia Union out of the 3 points possible, and 2.1 out of the 3 points possible for Inter Miami, with a 62% both teams to score. Match number 9 is Toronto FC hosting Chicago FC. A Toronto squad that has been in this up and down. I don't know if any of you guys do trading, like stocks or anything like that, but if you were to picture Toronto's performance this season, it's a huge spike up with up and downs, up in that spike up, and usually that tells you that they're gonna that stock is gonna keep having this momentum forward to the upwards trend. That's sort of what I see Toronto. If you were able to graph their performance, it went from being a really bad team to positive, up, down, up, down, up, down. And is that upwards trend going to be against Chicago FC? Match Simulator says so. Expected goals for Toronto FC, 2.1. For Chicago, 1.1. The win probability is in favor for Toronto, 57% versus 20% for Chicago. Expected points, 2 out of the 3 points possible will go to Toronto, which seems that they will be full on attack and dominating the game, creating a lot of chances on goal, versus Chicago, 0.6 expected points. They'll just be parking the bus and hoping that they get a decent counter attack. Both teams to score is at 57%. So this could be Chicago maybe get a PK, get lucky on a breakaway or a set piece, something that they are able to score but not really bring any real value where they created a high opportunity. Toronto seems to be in control of this game. This could be one of those matches where Chicago starts the game winning, and then Toronto just takes the win. We'll move on. Match 10, FC Dallas hosting St. Louis City. This FC Dallas squad tends to be unpredictable. You get some really good games, you get some really bad games. Based off their previous games against LAFC and LA Galaxy, they've been doing really poor. St. Louis City did just play a really strong Inter Miami, so that confidence could be there. They are on the road, so that could also play into this game. The environment, the hot weather in Dallas right now in the middle of summer could make a big difference. Expected goals is tied for both of these teams, 1.9. Win probability, slight edge to St. Louis City, 38% versus 37% for FC Dallas. Expected points says that we do expect FC Dallas to be a little bit more on the offensive, creating more opportunities. 1.5 expected points out of the 3 points possible for FC Dallas, and just 1 expected point out of the 3 points possible for St. Louis City. Both teams to score 69% seems to be the highest of all the matches this weekend. Comparing them to the rest, could be an entertaining game. Could be a 1-1, 2-2, 2-1. I do believe that FC Dallas could take this game, but with it being so close, it's hard to tell. Maybe St. Louis, even though their expected points is less, could just score one more goal than FC Dallas and do a good job at parking the bus. Colorado Rapids, match 11, hosting Austin FC, a Colorado Rapids team that has been in a little downwards trend based off their current form. Austin FC is just really shaky, really shaky, unpredictable. Both of these Texas teams have been, actually all 3 of these teams from Texas have been very unpredictable this season. But expected goals for Colorado, 1.8 versus 0.7 for Austin FC. Colorado Rapids have a 62% win probability, and Austin has 14% win probability in this match. Expected points, Colorado Rapids 2.0 versus Austin 0.6. Both teams to score is at 39%. If I were to kind of just give my 2 cents on this, Austin FC, I did see them on the road versus San Jose Earthquakes. I go to all the San Jose Earthquakes matches, and you have a really bad Western Conference team that's San Jose Earthquakes. It's a really bad home form, offensive and defensive, and then you have this Austin FC squad that just, they had a little bit of a reaction, but if San Jose Earthquakes are dominating you, with no disrespect to the Earthquakes, they are my favorite team, as you can see here. You may have a little bit of a problem with your team, and Colorado Rapids seem to have really good offensive players, fast in transition. They had a really good game against Real Salt Lake a couple weeks ago. I can definitely see Colorado Rapids winning this match. Maybe 1-0, 2-0. They need it. They need the 3 points. Austin FC has been, I believe about 2 weeks ago, was number 1 or number 2 in the Western Conference, and unjustly, I don't think it was fair for them to be there, with no disrespect to any Austin FC fans, but that was not in the that was not in the MLS script. So I will see Austin FC dropping down some positions. Match 12 is LA Galaxy versus Sporting Kansas City. We have LA Galaxy at home for sure win, especially versus a Sporting Kansas City team that, and whether they're playing home or away, their expected goal differential is always in the negative. They're always getting outperformed. They did win and pull that out of their behinds out of nowhere, I believe last weekend. But last weekend was one of those weekends where you just let the unpredictables, you bet against what your common sense would be, because it's only 4 matches. No one wanted to play it. You have people complaining about the games. And so we move on forward with expected goals for LA Galaxy. As you can see, 2.3 for LA Galaxy, 1.1 for Sporting Kansas City. LA Galaxy are the favorites to win this match, 61% versus 18% for Sporting Kansas City. Expected points, 2.5 out of the 3 points possible for LA Galaxy, and 0.4 expected points out of the 3 points possible for Sporting Kansas City, with both teams to score 58%. Could happen, right? LA Galaxy do concede some goals. Sporting Kansas City did just win last weekend. They have some confidence. They probably feel really good. So I could see this being a both teams to score for sure. We move on to my beloved San Jose Earthquakes hosting FC Cincinnati. I'm not surprised here. Expected goals for Earthquakes, 1.1 versus FC Cincinnati, 2.2. Win probability highly in favor for Cincinnati, 58% for Cincinnati, and 19% for the Earthquakes. Expected points tells us that FC Cincinnati will be dominating this game, creating far more better chances than the Earthquakes will. 2.4 expected points out of the 3 points possible, and 0.7 expected points out of the 3 points possible. Both teams to score 54%. Yeah, the Earthquakes do a good job at scoring in their home games. FC Cincinnati will definitely be a better team. I'd be surprised if this could end in a draw, to be honest, like a 1-1, 2-2. The San Jose Earthquakes just looked horrible against New York City, and but their offensive strength it's building up. You have this Hernan Lopez player that's starting to give the dynamic of the Earthquakes game. It just gives it a different vibe. You have Sakiri's holding it down, that double pivot, doing really well. He has this number 8 role that he does really well. He is a little clumsy, but he's super young. So, what do you expect from a player that's that young playing at this level? Don't expect anything else. Give me a second here for sure. All right. Seattle Sounders is the last game hosting Minnesota United. A Minnesota United squad that I really enjoy watching. I do believe they did not get the win last weekend. A Seattle Sounders squad that has just been... they have really good players. They just been unlucky these past couple of games. And this game is very unpredictable because the expected goals are in favor for Seattle Sounders. 1.5 expected goals versus 1.1 for Minnesota United. Win probability is 44% for Seattle Sounders and 29% for Minnesota United. But expected points tells us a different story. Expected points, 1 point out of the 3 points possible for Seattle Sounders. Meanwhile, Minnesota United are able to walk away with 1.7 expected points out of the 3 points possible. My heart and my gut and my experience with my match simulator is that you trust expected points. Expected points for me is a huge deal. It captures a lot of the volume of high quality chances versus what they'll be able to concede, and that gives you how many points they deserve out of the 3 points possible. In this match, based off the performance that Seattle Sounders have had during this season and Minnesota United, I would put a double chance for Minnesota to win or draw this game for sure, and to score maybe over 1.5 goals. Doesn't matter if Minnesota scores 2 or you get a 1-1, just a double chance. Also over 1.5 total team goals for this game seems highly likely. Alrighty, there we go, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. It is the summer. Enjoy the Euros, the Copa America. If you're in the US, enjoy your friendly matches from the various teams visiting our states. Enjoy soccer, the culture, and let me know in the comments if you guys have any results that you think the match simulator is not predicting correctly, or if you think something else will happen. Let me know what your scores are for your favorite games. Let me know who your favorite team is. Do I need to do a little bit more explanation on expected points? Because it's new. We've been doing the over 0.5 and the 1.5 for a long time, and this is probably the third or second video where I introduced expected points. Also, sorry, let me focus this up. Whoa, what happened to the camera? We got a new layout. Football is life. There's a whole bunch of more content coming this summer. Stay in tune for all of that. Enjoy your weekend. Hug your loved ones. Drink some water. Take a shot for me. And enjoy your weekend. Peace.